Bartender says, Captain, you've got a steering wheel in your pants. The pirate says, it's driving me nuts.
Okay. I guess we'll get this for now. Racing be depressing. Don't want to use the felts. I would like to.
Hello. I doubt you will remember me, but that doesn't mean I have ceased to exist. My mission still yearns to be completed. The CIA has wronged me and will.
Oh no. Terry the Terrible still has his personal vendettas against organizations. I remember your goofy ass. Hard to forget you were fucking scaring me. Masacro? Actually, might be the player.
Terry the Terrible supports your racing journey. Thank you for being a community racist.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Cherry. One who races. Hutch is still arguing with the judge about this heist. Wait.
I don't know how you do it, my dude.
You said it,
Day
Johnny,
in, day
but
out,
someone
you are
needs
a
to be
trooper.
able to. Because if
Kudos
not,
to you, son,
yes,
keep
lawyers
on
do have
keeping
free
on.
reign to bully officers like that. If I really, really wanted to, and I don't do it on purpose, but if I really wanted
Kitsu,
to,
I
I could
appreciate you,
argue
brother, man.
every
Without you
single
guys, there is no
fucking
me.
charge.
Thank you
Because
for
if that burden
continuously
of proof
coming through,
isn't
man.
met
Because
in the
day in,
penal
day
code,
out, you
it's
wouldn't
not
know
met.
Every
that.
single charge would be dropped.
You wouldn't know that unless you were here, so thank you, bro. Appreciate you, man. Wait, that I was a trooper? Listen, I wouldn't know that. You wouldn't say that unless you were here. Let's say that. We'll say that. Terry, thank you. Joker, thank you. Joker, thank you. Spanky, thank you. I'm all caught up, I think. I think I may have missed one of those. Back here. I don't think so. Maybe. If I missed it down, I'm so sorry, guys.
Fucking calls that we have, it's plus the PDM call, plus the 24/7 up north, and the one down south, west, and east, plus all the other bullshit. It's really easy to sit behind this desk, without a fucking badge, without ever doing what we have to do on a daily basis, and say, oh man, you should have taken pictures. Oh, you should have had officer testimony. Oh, while you were responding to the officer taking hostage, you should have did all this and checked every box. Bullshit. If that's the case, I'm telling every single one of my officers, corporals, sergeants, and below to never take another fucking thing to court. And if a lawyer wants to argue it, drop the fucking charge completely and send them with possession charges. Because God willing, I hope they can't prove that fucking not guilty either. That's where I'm at.
That's not what we're gonna do.
Well, Commissioner, it's where we're fucking at, man.
No, it's not where we're fucking at. We're here having a conversation trying to solve one bad thing that happened. And the thing is, if you can't compartmentalize this one bad thing, and then for us to try and build a fucking bridge
compartmentalize,
then I don't know what to tell you, because that's the reality of this situation here. Is that this is one thing. Are things gonna be perfect 100% of the fucking time? No, but we are here talking to the Chief Justice, the judge who made the ruling, the defense counsel, and even a defendant, trying to figure out what went wrong so we can figure it out. I understand you're frustrated, Bustin, but like, the point, you're making good points, but you're diluting them with being angry.
I'm just blown away. I'm
You're
blown away.
And you're going to continue to be blown away.
Every single piece on the chessboard is against us, including the judicial system. That's the reality. And the officers behind me will testify to the same shit, because they're in this city for 8 to 10 hours a day like me, and they deal with the bullshit that we deal with. And on top of that, now when we go to court, it's a losing uphill battle. And that is a fact. That is not a statement of that cannot be misconstrued. That is a statement of fucking fact. And ask the three behind me if it is, if you don't believe me.
You are standing on a soapbox when people are at a fucking table to break bread, to figure it out.
Well, I'm telling you the reality of it.
Done.
I'm telling you the reality of it, Commissioner. I'm being honest with you.
We heard the reality, and I've heard it for the past hour. What we need now is progress and forward thinking. And if we're not going to do that, there's no point to the conversation. So do we want to try to get to a solution here, or do we want to just sit here and say the officers have so much trouble?
I want a little leeway. That's what I want. I want no. I want
to get to that.
I want a little leeway. I don't want someone behind a desk. Okay. I don't want someone behind a desk telling us that we need all this proof and all this, whenever we can't even get it half the time. Even if we were there, it wouldn't even be possible to obtain because it's gone. I want a little bit of understanding. Bullshit. It's not bullshit, Commish.
You can't say things that are bullshit.
That's not bullshit.
That's
not bullshit.
You must have been talking about. You must have been talking about like pastry strudel or something. You know what I'm saying? Misconstrudel. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's talking about. I'm pretty sure.
Otherwise, it doesn't work.
He's just got food on the mind.
These kinds of hard decisions, the evidence isn't there. And it might not seem fair to you from your perspective, and I'm sure that that's the case, but that's not necessarily because we're doing it out of malice. This is just how...
How about those strudel-like Pop-Tarts? You ever seen those? What are those things? You put the... No,
the reality is
systems horseshit.
You made some good points, Sider, that we need to try to get to a solution on. Some of those are the burden on the officers going to trial is too much. I agree with you. It is not fair to put officers in against trained defense attorneys and expect them to abide fully to the rules of the court. Yes, Tick. The commissioner agrees with you.
Gave me one, but he lost.
I don't think anyone here disagrees with you. I think you're right.
Commissioner, I got a question for you.
Can you let him finish?
Please, God, let me fucking finish, because we're going to be here all night. Because if we keep going back to the fact that we're not hearing or whatever, that's not the fucking takeaway. That, check mark, done. Next. Okay? Next point Bustin made is the fact that how much narrative and proof do we have to bring? I agree with Bustin that we don't have to go and have to do a fucking forensics autopsy to be able to do a bench trial. That, I agree with you, Buster. But Buster, oh, actually, you're Buster now. I like that one better. Buster, I agree with you. We shouldn't have to do that. And that's something I want us to talk about, because that right there is going to kill the police officers. But the thing we should provide is a basic fucking narrative. I think that's not a lot, guys. Does anyone disagree with that?
Nope.
But Bustin? Is that like bad? I don't think that's bad. Just being able to tell a story of what happened.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm listening. You all don't want to hear what I have to say because I'm not gonna say anything you're gonna agree with. So I'm gonna listen.
But
I'm gonna hear what you guys have to say.
We can disagree, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
I believe that Black made a very apparent the narrative. I believe that there was enough understanding between both councils on what the charges were being charged with and the understanding of what happened and went down. And the thing that didn't get us there is proving the burdens of proof that to make an officer try and understand the court of law who doesn't have a bar license in that moment, in my opinion, is bullshit. On top of that, we're getting picked apart, Lynn. I love you. We're getting picked apart by Lynn and by fucking the other lawyer while there's a rat shitting on the ceiling, another guy eating it, fucking what's his name's taking phone calls. The whole courtroom just looked like a damn basketball fucking court.
Bustin, I just agreed.
Half court one too.
What I'm telling you is what you just said
with the
is
crowd
exactly
right next
what
to the
we
3-point
did,
line.
And they were found not guilty. And what I'm telling y'all is this: y'all don't have to take my word for it because it's gonna happen. More people are gonna take these kind of charges to court, and more times than not, you guys are gonna find them not guilty under exactly what you just did. And what police officers are gonna do, they're not gonna want to go to court because why the fuck would they?
Well, we're here trying to change that by having this discussion.
And exactly why I said y'all don't want to hear my opinion.
Well, you know what, Judge bitch? Maybe if you made the right choice,
made the case and the justice system didn't,
you wouldn't be having this convo. Sorry.
That's what I'm getting out of here.
There
the
it
other
is.
part I agree with you on. That one I can't agree or disagree because I wasn't fucking there.
Wait, that's right.
You're all go by your account. What you're all telling me.
I'm like you guys. I'm RP frogging.
So how do we go forward from here to make this better? Or do we just eliminate bench trials? Is that the solution? I don't think so. I think that's stupid because what that does is limit
wrong
options
judge.
for everyone and things that break up the monotony.
Your suggestion of reducing the preponderance for bench trials to the burden to a preponderance for bench trials, I think, is a good start. If it's
That is
the preponderance.
I mean, I think we should just hammer that home, though, that the narrative needs to just be more convincing
Preponderance.
than the other one. And maybe that
The
doesn't have to
preponderance
rely
of
so
evidence
much on
suggests that the accused is guilty.
evidence
A
as
greater
much as
quantity, number, weight,
people's
or
word,
importance.
people's And you had mentioned perhaps not doing objections during bench
So the
trials.
bigger-
I'm not
the
sure I
bigger-
agree with that, but I think maybe limiting them could help.
Well, the thing is, if you have someone like Ralph making 1,000 or
Could you say
Johnny
the
Lynn
most
going
the
in
more
there,
important thing here
we
would
know
be
what
blah blah
these
blah blah
top
blah. This
attorneys
motherfucker's
are
gotta
like.
sound smart as
No
shit. Huh?
offense.
Well, I think we also
They're
need to talk
very
to the
good.
attorneys about not doing predatory bench trials like
I'm
this.
gonna be honest. We held back a lot.
Yeah,
I get that, but what you're doing here, Mr. Lynn and Mr. McDougan, is you're trying to prove a point by rubbing salt in the wound. Of the police
Not at
because
all.
you
I
believe
actually
that-
afterwards tried to talk
Well,
to the
that's
officers
exactly
to
what
tell
Ralph
them.
just said. Is he only took this to court because they had said take it to court. That
Okay, well, I wasn't at the cells. Ralph contacted me afterwards. But
Well,
what
the
I'm
whole
saying is
reason that
after
this
the
started
case,
is because of that. So if we're not
Ralph
doing
can't
that,
even bothered to stay here. Like, that's what I'm telling you is that we can't take Ralph McDougan fucking serious because Ralph McDougan doesn't take himself serious. So
Right,
then it
but
gets
we
to a
need to-
point of like, what do we do?
right, we need to limit that kind of behavior. Is what I'm talking about.
but also I feel like the MDT is a very powerful tool for officers now compared to what it used to be, where it clearly outlines like a checklist for them, and I think maybe
Right, I
if
don't
it's an
disagree.
academy
Yeah,
or
but
whatnot,
a checklist on the fly, Johnny. Like, think about it. Like, they're going from call to call to call. When Bustin says like people are shooting each other on fucking masks, he ain't lying. Like, I've cleaned up about 15 people last night. You know, that
Well,
just
no,
shot each
I
other.
get that, but it's like for robbery, it was the three things, right? Like I feel like that's the only thing that hung them up off of what they testified to was the use of force or fear, which just was not acknowledged in the trial. And so I think just like a better understanding of that,
Well,
maybe
then how do
some coaching on that.
Well,
Let's think
maybe we
about-
need a better charge that's suitable for the crimes that we're seeing happening at Premium Deluxe Motorsports.
Well, here's what I suggest, and maybe this is something we can talk about further. But instead of having, because we're going on a preponderance of evidence, which is just 51%, or more, why don't we just say, if you meet 2 out of 3 of the burdens, you've met a preponderance of evidence?
I think that's super dangerous though, because charges can vastly differ based on 2 out of 3.
I mean, well, it depends on what the charge is, right? If you
Honestly, I think
1 out
unless
of the
it's
2.
like an egregious like assault against somebody's
Get these
rights,
ads
I
out
think
of
the
here.
only doing bench trials for those that's kind of like the middle ground, but it's also kind of like what the commissioner said. So you're not just taking anything to bench trial hoping that they can't muster enough evidence together.
Well, I think that police shouldn't use bench trial as a threat, and lawyers shouldn't use it as a tool for just like proving a point. I think if we can nip that in the bud, that would help a lot of why
Preponderance.
certain stupid cases get brought in front of the court in the
Yeah, the preponderance.
Ralph tried to bring me
This
to a court
case
case
should be
last
the-
night when we were in the middle of organizing an entire event, and a man tried to literally chop me up with a chainsaw.
Spell
and
it.
I shot at him, and then someone
Preponderance.
else tried to literally, they had set up on the outside, tried to shoot me, and I shot them both down. In
Damn.
self-defense. In a fucking police bar, they did this.
I'm
Something
sorry.
that had 20 plus witnesses. Ralph tried to bring this to a bench
Feel
trial.
free for the content.
And I'd like to also
prime me-
reiterate
If
the
I could
point.
knock common sense into him,
I would also like to reiterate the point. We asked for more time. I walked up there with you, Lynn, and I said,
Yeah.
Judge, can we please push this to another day? I am mentally exhausted. I would like to do this another day so we have time to make the reports, check all of our boxes, and be able to do this another day. And it wasn't, I didn't get it.
I think
Right.
the problem is on that, Bustin, and this is something we got to talk about. We're trying to figure out is where's Bustin at? Oh, he left.
I feel like if you're ready to press charges, you should be ready to articulate them in front of the court.
Yeah, but there's also a thing of this was a pretty much what I would say was a routine situation of
Oh, yeah,
catch and
okay.
grab off
That
a
was a long
robbery,
fill, huh?
right?
I filled it up.
For officers, the way they look at this is this was routine. Just because it went to a court, it meant a higher burden. Honestly, like I would say 90% of the citizens of the city
Splitting
would
us
not
up.
have argued robbery here. But we had a smarter variety, it seems.
I'll
on
be
this
honest, one of the suspects pled guilty to robbery, actually.
They did.
I'm-
And the other suspect after the court case laughed at me and said, we got away with it again.
And I'm going to be honest, the only reason I argued the license plate thing is because in the past, that's what we've always asked for. And once it gets to court. we've
That's
asked
not
for, like,
fair, though.
license
To
plates.
be honest,
So,
that isn't fair. To hold
Well, I thought
cops
it
to
was
take
in
a
the
picture of a
dispatch,
license
though,
plate.
too. And they said it was, and then
It's just
yeah.
not fair. It's not fair. Just the cops' word and testimony that they checked to see if something was stolen should be enough. To be honest.
But how
Right.
do you rob a place of business without fear? Make me understand that. How do you
If
walk
If
in?
no one's there.
So,
Yeah,
it's,
I
so
think
if
that's the
so,
big
okay. So question: you break into a house, you rob that house blind. You take didn't rob it. You borrowed
burglary.
and grabbed everything.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
it's
burglary
burglary.
if there's no one there. It'd be burglary over.
I think
robbery.
this is easily proved, Bustin. In my opinion, this is easily proved if we just said that they unlocked any of the doors, did anything. That's force.
Okay,
Right.
so
Or if there's
another
anyone
question: when people start taking, start robbing banks, if there's not a clerk in the front of that bank, it's no longer robbery. Robbery of a
because they used
financial
force.
institution.
Because they use force.
But we
Force doesn't
didn't-
have to be against a person.
It could be against an object. It could be opening a door.
Yeah,
by
it would
force. It
just
could
be
Opening the vault door.
Great.
Yeah.
entering the vault. Yeah, exactly.
That's all it means.
So how did they get inside of PDM to get the vehicle?
I'm
That's
falling
what we
asleep.
just
Stop
said.
looking at me falling asleep, man.
God.
That's
Let me
all
get a
we
fucking
should've-
Red Bull.
That's literally all we should have said. We
Oh
should've
Just
said
jolted
they
awake like I feel like I'm in high
unfortunately
school.
moved the car.
How
Or
the
they
fuck
entered
would they have
PDM
gotten
and moved the
in?
doors. Well, the thing
doors
is,
were
if
unlocked,
we don't
the
tell
alarm
the judges,
went off.
But if the judges don't know and we don't tell them this stuff, how? At what point is it fair to them if we don't tell them things? They're not psychic. They don't know anything about PDM. We don't tell them, they don't know. To be fair, on
Go
their
to sleep,
side,
I
how the fuck do
refuse.
we
We
know?
told them the alarm went off, and that's how we got the tracker. We told them that PDM employee called us, said, "I have been robbed. Here's a tracker for the vehicle." My words exactly.
Correct. And then that vehicle, which was that revolter, kept pinging off like at a constant location.
Which we also
every single
disclosed
second.
in the argument.
Yeah. It was an active
I mean,
tracker
there's
during
no
the entire-
indication of whether that was a
Is this the lawyer?
collaboration between people or not. You don't know. if
Has to
they
be, right?
took
This
it by
guy's not.
force.
He's or not the lawyer, the judge. Sorry, this is the
Well,
other judge.
I
This
mean,
is the one that's fucked him, right?
But I don't. I think if it was worded in the way they said,
They
then
cuffed cops
that
and
doesn't
ran
apply.
police vehicles.
But
Oh, this is the judge.
I think this comes down to the fact that
What was the
we
song
have to
during
do a
your
better
last
job
race
in
with some
these
lyrics
court
like
cases
original
on the
saying
officer
brand
side
brand
of
new?
providing
I cannot
I don't
find
know.
it.
making sure that we do that, just telling the story,
This.
not getting caught up in other
Flashbang.
bullshit.
Metric
And
Abyss.
I think what I would ask on the court
That's the last
side
song I played.
is that you fully listen to the story the officers are saying and fully listen to the story that the criminals are giving.
Chat,
And if
I'm telling
we
you
don't
this
hear
right
the story
now,
that both those
we
sides
will
are
never
giving,
go to court
we
again.
should ask
I'm
for them to
telling you
tell the
this
story
right
again
now.
if we miss
We
it.
will
Because
never go to court again.
don't know
I'm
what
telling you
car-
that.
Pushed
And I'm
stepped
being-
out of the car that he was ignited in. But once again, we had no proof that that wasn't his car. that
Okay,
was articulated in the
make me
courtroom.
understand this. Please make me understand this. We have a business telling us that a car was stolen. We have a truck.
I don't think he's understanding though. Bro, they didn't inventory the vehicle. They didn't do anything like that. Listen, these are growing pains that as a new department or like Hutch being in high command or whatever, or captain or whatever the fuck, like he needs to make sure like this is a learning experience. Like, bro, if you had your evidence, you guys did your job as like a thing. Like, you all should have like, you know.
You don't know what.
Damn, bro. Damn.